Good morning. Welcome to Site Builder Saturday. I'm happy that you joined today. This is episode 9, and I can't believe that it's already been 9 weeks that I've been doing this. What we've been doing over these weeks is I have been outlining the website plan that I've created and the one that I use when I create websites for my clients. The reason I'm doing this is to help those who want to build their own website. Without a plan, you won't get very far, and it's really important to outline that. So without further ado, we'll talk about today's topic. Today's topic is about your website collateral and how you should go about acquiring it and what you need to do with it for your web pages. If you've been following along, you know that we've done a lot of work on figuring out just what pages we need to have on the website, who our customer is, and color. We did last week, we did color. So we've done a lot of work to outline what we need to put on there. And now is the time that we're going to glue it all together by identifying the images, the text copy, the calls to action, any videos or podcasts that you want to use, and how to tie them all together. So there are a few things that you need to consider when you're doing this, and you need to sit down and look at each page that you have identified that you need on your website. From there, you'll find an image that will convey the message or the topic or the concept that you're trying to get across. If it's a product or service page and you have an image of that particular product or service, that'll work great. The next thing that you need to do is to figure out the text copy that goes with each of the particular images on the page. If you have a page that has 3 sections, and 3 images, you want to create your text for each of those sections. You also want to have a headline for each of those sections and a call to action. And if you remember from earlier, a call to action is something like download now, read more, buy now, or call me, or call your company. Those are the calls to action. You want to be sure that these things are aligned and work together. And an important point for the design of your web page is that less is more. I see many people want to tell your customer and your client everything about your product, all in one page, all together, and it can be overwhelming. And what I'd like to show you is an example of how overwhelming it can be to a visitor when you have something that is designed with too much information. So we'll take a look at that in a moment. And if you give me a moment to set that up, I wanted to say that while we're setting this up, too much copy and your clients will click away or your prospects will click away. It's really important that you make sure that you have figured out the language that you want to show your customers and your clients beforehand. So I'm going to switch over to the websites now that are kind of busy, and I scrolled a little quickly. But let's take a look at this first one. If you were looking for a tub makeover and you came to this particular website, I think that you'd find it a little overwhelming as to where to go and what to look. It's not very clearly outlined what they're doing and why they're doing it, and what they have to offer even. So I'm going to scroll to this next one, and I'm not even sure what it's all about. We've got some bottles and things and a lot going on. Again, this one too, with all the different colors and images and things that are happening. It's not clear how you would navigate, what they have to offer, what the message is. It's really not designed in an effective way. And this one here, with so much copy, your eye doesn't know where to go. So let's take a look at what it means to use a headline. I alluded to that a little earlier, and how you can convey an image that supports your topic. So here we are on my website with the article that this particular series is based off of, Planning Your Website Like a Pro. You'll see the top image supports very clearly the planning concept. We have her drawing on this particular planning board with a coffee, and she's clearly doing a plan. So planning your website like a pro, we have a main headline. we have, this is a long article and I won't go through all of it, but I'll show you how the text gets broken up in an article. So we have a headline here. We have many headlines that break up the text and direct the eye to help them read. So you see how we scroll through, and then we have how the article is organized, what we learned about website planning, and the materials you'll need to complete your plan. And it goes on and on. However, I just wanted to show you a little bit about how that looks when you're using a headline and how it's cleaner and easier to navigate. And if we take a very quick look at the home page for my website, you'll see that it is a little neater and cleaner. There are several calls to action on the home page, which open up to give more information about each particular thing that an individual who visits my website may want to learn about. And you can have a lot of information on your website. It's just important that you organize it in a way that your visitor can begin to consume it and find what they need in an easy way. So let's go back and see if we can't discuss with the group out there if there are any questions. So does anyone out there have any questions? Let me go check and see if I have any questions coming in. And I do. Someone has asked a question, which is an interesting question, about images and how you find them and if you can simply use anything that you find on the web. And I wanted to say that you really need to be careful about the images that you use on the web. I have a whole series of articles that I'll be publishing shortly about how you can find which images are okay to use and purchase others if you want to buy some. It's important that you don't just take any image that you find on the web. There are copyright laws that prohibit you from doing this, and you want to be careful because if you just take someone's image, they could come after you. It's important that you use the appropriate citings if you use an image that is free in the public domain, because there are many images that are free in the public domain. Some require you to say who the source is, others don't. And again, there'll be a whole series of articles coming up about this topic and how you can find images that are safe to use without worry on your website. So without further ado, this will conclude this Saturday's edition of Site Builder Saturday. We talked about tying together your images, your text copy, your calls to action, and your videos or podcasts, if you have any, on your website. All these things should work together to deliver the message to your client or your customer or your prospect. You want to be sure that you've read it through the eyes of your customer and that it will resonate with them. So join us next week on our next edition, which will be our session 10. And next week we'll talk about purchasing what you need to buy to create your website. And that'll be a fun topic, so I hope you'll join us then. That's all for now. Happy website building. Bye-bye now.